Oh, are we launching?
We
Hopefully
are
we are.
So we got to jump right into this.
I
now.
know, you just have to keep talking. Otherwise, we're just sitting there frowning at the thing. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, or you get that one person that's a comment.
Yeah.
Saying like, yeah, you guys waffle around much in the beginning. Can you just get straight to the content?
We love
just
you.
Get straight to the point.
I know.
Give us feed.
Dwayne gave us some feedback, and he was like, "You guys, you need to front load your content." We love you, Dwayne, but stick with it because we have lots of content.
Yeah, and also he says that it's very disorganized and it's kind of chaotic.
Well, that's true.
But it is
that's legit.
Tangent show.
So the tangent show, our concept with the tangent show is that it's creativity, business, art, and technology. That was kind of our goal with this. So our idea is really to talk about sort of news, new trends, I see you, Isaac. I see you. Getting your creative juice. I see you. Stop doing things. You're always doing things. Oh my gosh. Why do you have to do all the things? Oh wait, look, no, hold on. Our camera's off because I see hold on, let me fix it because otherwise, we always do this and I mess up the green screen. I know. We don't want them to know we're not actually at Glastonbury enjoying Dolly. Is that Dolly Parton? I think it is. She's awesome. Working 9 to 5. Yeah. Jolene. Wait, was that was Dolly Parton, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, we had a singing lesson this week, so we're all like super into it. Hope you guys are doing awesome. So yeah, we do sort of jump around a bit. We do have a lot of content, but we like to sort of chat. Our other videos on YouTube tend to be instructional, tend to be more like this is how you do something and this is how we walk it through. Tangent show, we try to have more fun with it. We try to chat and just really explore anything that we think is cool, new. Our goal with it is that maybe we give you some ideas for new niches you can use in your products, in your books, in your marketing, in just generally being awesome. And sometimes we just share things because we think they're cool. So we've got a lot of things to talk about today. The big thing, guys, is that we have our 10,000 member contest.
Wow, 10,000 members.
So our KDP group, we hit 10,000 members last week, and we are doing a big contest. So we're going to do that towards the end of the show. So stick with us. See, we're like scumbag marketers. We're going to make you wait for it. This is like one of those webinars when it's like, let me hint. Let me show you 5 people who've made $1 million in some mysterious way. And I'm just going to talk about those 5 people for the next hour. And then towards the end, I'm going to say, and you can learn how they did it if you pay us $5,000.
So you had a good week this week, huh?
It has been a good week. We went singing this week. That was
it was awesome. Yeah.
There was an earthquake.
Yeah, that we did not.
We didn't feel it,
but it was in our general area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't we feel it? What's up with that?
Oh no.
So the news headlines were like, earthquake rocks Southern California. Mm-hmm. We were like, oh.
Okay, now we live by a military base.
That's right.
We hear crazy crap all the time, like explosions and boom. The ground will occasionally shake. We're like, what the heck was that? We had fighter jets flying over our head.
Are you allowed to talk about this, or are we going to get like a visit?
A visit.
Ooh.
So I don't know. It's kind of like just another day for us.
Hi, Hanako. Hi, Mekti. Hi, Dana. Hi, Emily. Hope you guys are all doing marvelous. So, what else happened this week? So, you know what else happened this week?
What happened?
Facebook glitched.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny.
That was a weird one.
So, I had a morning, I couldn't really post any pictures. I think the funniest thing that I saw, Facebook goes, Catherine, do you remember your memories from 8 years ago? And it just gave me like a white blank space. And I'm like, I don't remember that night. Nothing changes. So that was kind of funny. A couple of interesting things came out of that, though. One thing that I thought was kind of funny, let me screen share because I found a good news article on this. Oh gosh, I got too many windows open. Here we go. Don't complain. We're doing our best. Here we go. Okay.
Can you speed it up a little bit?
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's. Which one are we in? I think. No, that one. Okay, I got it.
I'm very
unprofessional. Okay, so Here we go. Let me make sure I've got all my tabs in the right place. This was kind of interesting. So Facebook, their images failed, but what we got to see was the AI tags underneath. So Facebook actually uses AI to tag images. And this isn't really like news because they've been doing this for a long time.
Google's been doing it forever.
First of all, it's useful if you have a visual impairment. So you can actually, it gives you the information. Well, and the way that works is that I guess it tells you through a screen reader. Yeah. So if you're reading, it will say image may contain. So like I had a friend who was blind and he used to actually do text-based gaming and he used a screen reader to read out what was on the screen to him. Yeah, that's really cool. So that's kind of how it works. But this one cracked me up because it said image may contain 5 people, including a lady called Danielle, people smiling, people standing, hose. I'm assuming it was gardening equipment.
I can't say anything right now without sounding offensive. But mine is racist.
And this one also, they said shout out to the person who uploaded a photo of their baby to Facebook. And they categorized it as image may contain dog. Sorry about your baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, this highlights a seriously flaw when you put too much trust in AI.
Yes. Well, now the other thing that I thought was really interesting about this is that there are some websites that are speculating on whether Facebook is using this to target advertising, which I think is kind of interesting. So
highly probable.
Well, I do a lot of third-party advertising on Facebook, but we know like there's probably some higher tiers of Facebook. Now think about this. If you have if you always post pictures with dogs in, maybe Facebook knows this because they're using AI to tag the images. So they know, oh, that picture contains a dog. That makes you a candidate for dog food, right?
Yes, let's put this into perspective. Let's replace Facebook with Instagram.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah. So also Instagram does the same thing.
Yeah.
So when you think about it in terms of what Facebook knows about you or Instagram knows about you, they are learning a lot from your pictures.
Well, right. So Instagram, you hardly say any words. You just post photos, maybe a caption here and there, a paragraph maybe every now and then if you're an influencer. But yet all those photos are being indexed and classified. It's really interesting.
Whoa, conspiracy. So it's an interesting thing to be aware of. Right? It's not anything new, but it's definitely interesting. Okay, there was another thing I wanted to share. Let me just make sure I've got the right page. Because we don't want to spoil the magic later on as we go, you see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so another thing that I thought was interesting that came out of this. Oh my gosh, I've got all the wrong buttons. Where's my share? There it is. Okay. So Down Detector is kind of a cool page.
Oh yeah.
If you want to see what's going on with a particular website, it tells you. I believe this graph is basically how many support calls that company is getting right now. So by analyzing this, you can see if they're hitting problems.
I actually use this site when our internet's going down to see if it's
us
or if it's just the network. Yeah.
And I thought this is actually kind of interesting to see what people are doing and I was sort of browsing through this just out of curiosity, and I started thinking about this. I was like, this really tells you all the most popular websites that people are using. So in some ways, I feel like this is really good as a niche hunting
place. I can see that.
So one thing we like to do on the show is we go niche hunting on different websites or in different places to find just kind of indicators for what people are doing. And I thought this was really fascinating. Like PayPal is right up there. I see PayPal before I see like Wells Fargo and the mainstream banks. There's MasterCard.
Roadblocks.
Roadblocks is huge. Roadblocks with there's Wells Fargo. Yeah. It's, to me, it's really interesting because I think
Red Dead. It's just one on Red Dead.
Where's Red Dead? Oh, hey, you see Red Dead's up. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Red Dead. Crunchyroll. Our kids are big into Crunchyroll. That's the anime platform. But this is really cool to see what platforms people are using. And I think it kind of, if you're stuck in your bubble and you're like, I don't know what to make a product about, I don't know what to make a book about, I don't know where to advertise, this is actually pretty interesting to just browse through and think about, okay, sports, you've got video games, you've got a lot of transit. I see the BART on there, I saw Amtrak, Ticketmaster. And that really makes me think, like, especially when I'm thinking about like KDP people, about travel journals. And everyone does like sort of vague travel journals. You could get a lot more specific. You could do like train journals. Go check out Amtrak's website, what things are important to train travelers, what they might like to log, what information might be helpful to them. And I just think this is a really interesting sort of indicator of...
The list is pretty big.
The IRS, that's always fun. Grindr, of course, that's a popular website.
Very important.
McDonald's, who goes to McDonald's website? What's there to know about McDonald's? You go in and you buy fries.
I've never thought to go to McDonald's.com. Never once have I thought that.
But I do think it's interesting. It shows you what the popular games are, popular sites, and so on. And
Grubhub.
like Postmates and Grubhub. Ooh, that would make a good book, like a book for people who deliver food, and they can keep track of what they're doing. So some people still like doing things analog, and some people like to just write in a book about their experiences. And also people like to gift books. So if you're doing KDP, kind of an interesting place to just go and get some inspiration.
That's
cool.
So
that's a couple of things we learned from Facebook being down this week. So I had another thing to share this week that I thought was really cool. I learned about a couple of wholesale, and I'm going to call them Nuschool Wholesale websites.
Nuschool, a new generation of wholesale suppliers,
I
websites.
Well, kind of both. So I think this is really interesting. So we go to, I don't know, since about 2014, we've gone to ASD pretty much twice a year. We go there, we talk to, we kind of work with people on both sides, the wholesalers with retailers, people selling on Amazon. And we kind of check out all the wholesale products that are for sale. And yes, we will be at ASD at the end of the month. And we would love to see you there. We're going to be talking. We're going to be teaching some classes. It's going to be pretty fun. But there's some new websites popping up that are selling wholesale products. And they're really different from the old way of doing wholesale. Like in my experience, especially when we were doing the Create course, we were working on a lot of white label products. We found that a lot of wholesalers are very old school. Some of them still sort of use forms. They want to do phone calls. It's very business-ified. And what I think is interesting, there's two websites in particular. One's called Tundra and one is called Fair. And these sites feel more like retail sites. They're very beautifully designed. They have maker products. They have artisan products. And I think they're pretty fascinating if you look through them. Now, the only downside is I don't think either of them will sell to Amazon sellers. So
wow.
That's a little bit of a bummer. But
it's like old school ASD.
Right. But I think there's a lot. Well, I know we have a lot of people in our groups who are selling on all kinds of platforms now, and a lot who are putting together their own niche websites and who are perhaps looking for products to accompany their books that they can bundle together. People are looking, and I think what a lot of people are doing now is putting together experiences more than just selling individual products. People are working on having very curated brands so they can actually, and I think subscription boxes fit into this. People who send out a curated collection of products each week or each month, usually each month. I think this is very appealing to them. I've heard that Tundra is more friendly towards subscription boxes than Fair is. So you might want to check that out if you are doing a subscription box. But I think people are very much, and this is something we talked about a lot in our Cultivate course, people really are combining their digital products and their physical products. So for example, maybe you have a website and your brand is about Pilates, say. Each week, or you might have a mastermind of people, and each month you release some videos on how to do Pilates. You might have an interview with a Pilates instructor, and you might have a box of goodies that you sell to go with your digital brand. And I think that crossover is becoming more and more obvious sort of these days. Do you notice that you find people are working on their brand and creating just a whole range of products for that brand.
Absolutely.
Like they're not just focused on I create courses and that's it, or I sell physical products and that's it. A lot of people have that overlap of service, product, digital product, video.
Well, I mean, to put things in perspective, I mean, go to the top of the top, you got Apple, and Tim Cook has said that their next major focus is going to be on subscription services.
Right.
And I mean, they've maxed out on physical products. Now it's just maintaining the status quo, but they know the next big moneymaker is going to be the services. Amazon's been there from day one. And I think I wouldn't doubt Facebook's going to be going into that service.
And I think for independent people, I think like just establishing your expertise in a niche can open you up to all kinds of things. You can run a community, even a paid community or mastermind. You can teach classes. You can do like video content. A lot of things you can do. But I thought this website is really interesting. Both of these websites, Tundra and Fair. The other thing I think is pretty cool about this is you can actually look at these and see what is popular right now, what's kind of trending, what kind of things people are looking to buy. And this is something we say about ASD as well. Like even if you're not currently ready to sort of retail, even like, and we say even people who are just doing print on demand, like books or t-shirts, it's still worth going because you can see what's trending, what's about to be popular. By looking at physical products, you can look at the design of them, you can look at the slogans, you can look at the niches, the way they're marketing things. And
these smaller independent people that are selling products as opposed to the large corporations, they're more ahead of the curve as far as marketing, niche research, and catering to a specific audience, where the large corporations, they seem to be a little bit slower to get to current trends.
And I think that's where you have the power as an individual seller, as like an independent entrepreneur, is that you can actually jump into these tiny niches where the big companies just don't touch.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be Netflix. You can just like if you're focused on, I don't know, having beautiful candles, absolutely teach classes on how to make candles, sell patterns or sell recipes for making candles, sell the candles, like do everything in that sphere. And make it as niche as you like. Have gothic candles, have religious candles, have, I don't know, tropical candles, insect killing candles.
ASMR candles.
ASMR candles, boom, there you go. So there you go, that's two websites there. There's Tundra is here, and there's Fair. And these are both wholesale websites, but I really like them because they're very beautifully laid out. Like this isn't the days of like, okay, you got to like phone up and like place your order. And it feels like a retail experience, which I think is really, really interesting. And hopefully maybe you'll find something that you can bundle with your books, with your products, and find some cool products on there.
Yeah.
So there's
cool.
that. Okay, what was the other thing? Oh, I wanted to share this. Oh my gosh.
What is this?
This was on CNN today. And actually their website crashed, which is why I have a screen share, because I looked at it this morning on CNN and I went to click on their website and it crashed. So I guess maybe that's the CNN effect. No, okay, so this is kind of, I don't know if it's horrific or wonderful. Well, I don't think it's wonderful, but
judging by the look of it.
Is it horrific or less horrific? Okay.
I don't know.
So what this is, there's a website called Podshare.com, and they are selling beds for $1,200 a month.
Oh, wow.
You don't get a room.
$1,200 a month. Where is this located?
San Francisco.
Oh, my God.
San Francisco.
Of course.
It now costs you $1,200 for a bed. No visitors allowed.
Oh my God.
Oh, it says no visitors allowed. You have to make friends with the people who are already there. Friends.
Oh my God.
So, okay, they have 220 beds and they have 6 locations. Oh, they're also in LA, across Los Angeles and one in San Francisco. There's no deposit and no commitment. You get a bed, a locker, access to Wi-Fi. And I love this, the chance to meet fellow podestrians.
Oh my God.
They're called podestrians. You'll like this though. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Each pod includes a shelf and a television, and you get food staples included, like cereal and ramen. You get ramen.
$1,200 a month, and you can have the college experience of living in a dorm.
You know, it's kind of interesting though. I was reading about the lady who created it. So she's like this trendy 34-year-old founder.
Oh, sure.
And she says she's created these because this is the way she wants to live.
What?
Meeting new people. Traveling to okay, it kind of makes sense though. So her goal is to have these everywhere in the world, and what she wants to do is say you pay $1,000 a month, and it should get you a chance to live from here to Taiwan back to Boston. You cover the flight and we cover the housing. It's all included. So she wants to have it all over the world. So you just pay and then you've got a home anywhere you go.
I think this reminds me a lot of the pods in Japan, but the pods in Japan's look cool and high tech.
And they're more private.
They're private. You got it looks like a space capsule, like something from the future. That I understand. This right here, I'm not really sure. It seems, I don't know. It seems.
Why do people always come to the door when we're doing our show?
I don't know. They won't leave, people.
I know.
We need a sign.
I think so. I'm not answering.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing that's interesting is she says it's a safe solution for people who don't have many options. Maybe they don't have 2 months rent to put down. It might be a divorce. Their family kicked them out for being gay, or maybe they're in a different country, or they've immigrated from a different city.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. Also, if there's a lot of job opportunities in San Francisco.
Yes.
And so this is probably
if you're new to the city and you've just got a job, I could see this working sort of temporarily.
Yeah. And so it's probably really hard to find a place to live, especially now.
Maybe not today. If you've got 3 kids though. That's not really going to work out very well. So
no, it's
maybe
for the
not
loner.
Great for families, but so I thought that was kind of cool. Share. We've got another cool thing that you found. Let me go and find it. Okay, so oh my gosh, I got too many things open. Okay, this is pretty awesome. You found this website right here called publicdomainflix.com.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a feeling we've found this before.
Oh yeah. It came into my radar again. So
yeah. And tell me about this.
It's pretty cool. It appears to be a site that has a collection of movies that are in the public domain.
Whoa.
And so really cool. And I just, it's great for entertainment value if you like looking at old independent films, and
they've got a lot
low budget films. But also I think there's some perhaps product opportunities.
Right. And so I was kind of brainstorming on this a little bit after you showed this to me. And I think the way to go about it, perhaps if you're thinking of using these for products, is to break it down. So what assets are in a movie? Well, you have the movie itself. So you have video clips. And of course, you can extract video clips, maybe use them in your marketing. Like if you can find someone saying a funny phrase like, buy it now, you could use that in your marketing on Facebook, for example. You can also take still images. So you can screenshot these. If you hear heavy breathing, it's the dog. It's not Isaac. Everyone's hot today. It's like it's one of those days.
It's California.
You can use images, so you can actually screenshot images. Now, I did find that the quality on these wasn't that great.
Right.
But perhaps you could find another source for the videos. So you might be able to find, you could use this as a pointer and perhaps find another source if you can find a more high resolution video of them. And you could use images and screenshots from these for anything. Like you can stick them on the covers of your journals. You can put them on, if you make soap or perfume, you could collage them into your product labels or your packaging.
You can hand trace them.
That's true.
Or digitally trace them, and then you have a new set of assets.
That's what Jordan did for his coloring books. He there's a very nice gentleman in our KDP group, Jordan, who he traced images from horror movies like Night of the Living Dead and turned those into a coloring book.
Hands of Thanos or Manos, I think.
Manos, Hands of Fate.
Yeah.
That was it. But they're public domain movies, and so he turned those into coloring books.
It's really cool stuff.
So you can get really creative with this. You could also, and I was thinking about this, you could use audio. So you can take songs Like if there's things, and look at this, there's even cartoons in here, and there's like propaganda stuff, like war
really
comes
cool.
to America.
I would take the sounds from like old like horror flicks, because that stuff's really creepy. Like the sounds, and sell it
on Amazon. You can sell it as a you can use TuneCore. What's the other one? CD Baby. You can totally turn audio into saleable products, like haunted house sound effects, Christmas sound effects. Like you can sell sound effects. So there's a lot of directions you can go with stuff like this. You can also look at scripts as well. So you could look at and see if you find, like, what about republishing certain scenes? Like, I don't know, maybe you want to find like every scene in movies where, like, I don't know, a dog does something funny. And then you could like publish a book of like funniest dog moments from old movies or something, and publish bits of script. So if you get creative with this, there's a lot of ways you can use old movies. And again, remember, these are public domain movies. So don't go doing this with like Star Wars, because Disney will like slap you from here to eternity. But a lot of movies are in the public domain because they basically either didn't properly copyright themselves, or they didn't renew their copyright. There may also be some legal issues around using likenesses of celebrities. So be a little bit careful with that. But on the whole, these should be public domain movies. So use your creativity and think about cool ways that you can use those. Jennifer says, what was the other audio site? TuneCore, TuneCore is one that you can use. Cool. So we're coming up to like halfway through the show. Wow. If you've tuned in for the contest, we will be doing that a little bit towards the end of the show. Oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff I want to talk about. Let me click through this. What did I have here? Oh, okay. So actually, I'm going to jump into this. So we had a really cool thread in our Facebook group, the KDP Facebook group. And one of the ladies in there, Victoria, has published, and I'm going to give her a big shout out, this pretty awesome book called Luanda and the Sun Compass. And I think this is really beautiful. I love her art on the cover. And it's just a really cool book. It's suitable for ages 6 to 9. And it's a story of a black mermaid. And Disney have just announced that they're doing a remake of The Little Mermaid, and they are using a black actress. And I love
it's the live action.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
A girl called Halle Bailey.
Oh, okay. Just a little actress known as.
No, not Halle Berry.
Oh, Halle Bailey. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
I was like, wow.
No, she's very different. A whole different generation. You're like,
I heard what I wanted to hear, right?
You're old, granddad. No, this
Catwoman comes back again.
No. Halle Bailey. And people have been making this gorgeous fan art that I have a look through these, because these are so cool. People have been making this really beautiful fan art.
That's really cool.
So this is all the buzz in Disney books. And I thought it was really interesting. Like Victoria asked about this a little bit in her thread in our KDP group. And it's kind of one of those things, like, what do you do if you have a niche, if you've created something in a niche like this, and then Disney come along and do the same thing? Like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Oh.
And okay, so here's my take on it. And there was kind of a cool discussion on it. My take is that I think it's a huge positive, because it suddenly brings a lot of news to that niche. And my thought on that is, if I'd made a book like this, I think I would try to capitalize on the hype as much as I could. So here's the thing, like local media, specialist media, they're going to be looking for angles on this story that Disney now have a black mermaid. So I would get in contact. Like if I was in a niche like this, I think I would do a press release like ASAP and be like, okay, go and talk to local media, maybe sort of black focused media as well. Like, I think there's a lot of opportunities there. So my thought, like, never get despair, never get like, oh my gosh, they're going to crush me. Because I see this, like, I hope Victoria doesn't mind me sharing this, because I really want people to go and buy this book because it's pretty awesome. But never sort of get down over things like this, because if there's hype coming to your niche, ride it, like see where you can go with that, stay positive, and you can turn anything into a positive, really. But yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting question she had, and just sort of where you go with that if a big company like Disney get on board with something that you're doing. So
that's interesting. That's
okay.
How would you capitalize on that? Just how would you like take advantage of it? The fact that,
as
Disney...
I say, I would look at, I go to the media, I would do a press release. So I'd look at local media, specialist media, anything where this could be a story, because it kind of adds local interest. And this is the weird thing, like if you talk to like local TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, they're always desperate for content. And if you can show them something local that reflects like a mainstream news story. They're looking for an angle on that. If you, this is the kind of thing that can totally get you on the sort of breakfast show, or like getting a column in the newspaper. And also by local, I also mean like specialist media. So if there's like, maybe there's a magazine for like Black girls, they'd probably love a story like this. Like they might be doing a special thing on mermaids. So boom, there's your kind of options there. So I think that's kind of cool. What else happened in the group? Oh, we had an interesting debate. On when are you most creative?
It was a really good thread.
What was your thought on that? When are you most creative?
So everyone was going for like time of day, and that doesn't really apply to me because I'm so like sporadic, and our sleeping schedule is so weird. However, I find that there's
when you rise from your coffin. I know you, Isaac.
I mean, sometimes we don't go to sleep till like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Sometimes. I woke up at 4 a.m. today.
So sometimes you're waking up at
I was on Facebook at 4 a.m. That was not a good idea to do it.
So, and I try to get as little sleep as possible, which is probably not the best thing.
Why do you do that? That's crazy.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so much you want to do during the day.
That's true.
So anyways, most creative. So I have to go by an actionary based thing or an event.
Actionary, that's a good word.
I guess so. I
think
made
you
it up.
Trademark that.
I am. My word, trademarking it. Yes, I invented it. So anyways, I was saying that it's usually after I learn something new. So like I gotta like read something, or maybe watch a video, an instructional video, and something completely new, like outside of my field, outside of my radar of knowledge. And when I get something new, that tends to fuel my creativity. So my everyday, and it affects my day-to-day life.
I know we try to, like, if we're feeling kind of stuck, we try and like maybe find an art gallery or a museum to go to, or we take a class. Like this week we did singing.
Yes, we did. Awesome. That was awesome.
If you live in San Diego, San Francisco, or New York, hit us up. We know an amazing
She's
singing and voice teacher. She is like the best in the business, and she does like public speaking and talking as well. So, so let me know if you need a really good singing teacher. But singing is awesome. It feels really good. Like learning to sing and just like how to use your body when you sing is so good for you. I love singing. So
it's really cool.
I won't say I'm like the best singer in the world, but just doing it, just learning.
It's fun to learn something new. Yes,
it really is. Especially, and I think it's really easy when you're doing like a lot of business and entrepreneur stuff to get so stuck in like, oh, we've got to make money, everything's got to be profitable, time is money, blah blah blah. Sometimes you got to do art. You've got to just create. You've got to play, like really play. Take time to play. Like don't forget to play. It's useful.
Yes. So when are you most creative?
When am I most creative? Yeah. So okay, I think there are different, and so this is something I sort of talked about a little bit in the thread. I think there are different types of creativity. I think creativity is like this big catch-all. And I think there's playful creativity that doesn't, like, sometimes you're just creating for the sake of it. And I feel like that's when like you're in Denny's at 2 a.m. and you're just like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be funny if like avocados wore pants, and if they had bacon perfume, and cars had like caterpillar tracks and could fly, and like it doesn't go anywhere, but you're just kind of having fun with your friends, or like you're drinking and you're just kind of creating random stuff. that's like one type of creativity.
Okay.
And one thing I would say from that is, and I think I made a video a long time back that said, let all the dumb ideas out.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's so true. I think we kind of get mad at ourselves sometimes when we have dumb ideas and we're like, oh, stop thinking stupid things. That's pointless. It's a waste of time. I find that dumb ideas tend to open the doors for good ideas or for creative ideas, for like things you can actually go somewhere with. So wouldn't it be funny if like there were avocado people? Well, it's like, okay, that's like a dumb idea that you're probably drinking or you're high or something when you come up with that. But like, then you end up with like, maybe you could have like a cool book that has avocado people. You can make like, Where's Waldo? And all the people look like avocados. No, because like avocados are like a big trending thing.
Right.
And so you can totally see like some girl going, oh, I'm going to buy you the Where's Avocado book because for their like best girlfriend or something. Like, and I think a lot of like dumb things turn into actual, like all the pooping unicorns and things like that. Right. At some point that was a dumb idea, but it actually became like a best-selling product.
Right.
So I think there's that kind of creativity. I think there's problem-solving creativity.
Okay.
And for me, that is more challenging, I think. So I there's the brainstorming creativity. And what I say is let yourself brainstorm, let yourself play, and then write down all the dumb ideas and then use that as your starter point to come up with something that you can actually sell. Like filter it down and turn your dumb ideas, like evolve them. See if you can actually come up with something from your dumb ideas that's marketable.
Yeah, I kind of want to add to that. So, I mean, the overall theme I hear is that ideas generate more ideas.
Yes.
So that's a good starting point. It goes back to improv. You know, one of the things we learn from improv is the yes and the yes part, you learn to accept everything. And you break down those barriers that block you from moving forward with ideas, with thought processes, with creativity.
Because we censor ourselves way too much.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're like, this is a dumb idea.
And so like take down the filter and just allow yourself to just kind of express yourself in a very safe manner. And once you get these ideas written down again, then that's going to kind of unlock this part of your brain that allow you to be a lot more creative in areas you never thought before.
So I think the other part of creativity, like the more serious part, is perhaps problem-solving creativity. And for me, that's one of those things where like maybe you're struggling with a problem. Like maybe you want to put your child into a new school and you can't decide between two schools, for example. Those problems, those for me, they can get kind of stressful. Especially if it's like emotional, it's about your family or it's about business or it's just kind of what should I do next? Those aren't like the fun problem solving in my experience. Those are like the stressful problem solving. And I think there's a couple of ways to tackle them. You can try and force an answer by doing things like pro and con lists or writing down the risks, benefits, or kind of brainstorming what if scenarios. Like if we do this, what will happen? If we do that, what will happen? For me, I tend to wake up with answers to those problems. I'm like, oh, I got, like, you kind of sleep on it, I find. And that helps. And I also find that like, and this, like I shared this in the group. I find that when I get most stressed out and kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to solve this. I'm in despair. Like the more bummed I get, the next day I'm more likely to be like, I have the answer. I know what I need to do. And I share that because I think it's really easy to fall into despair if you're stuck. And a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I can't even get started. I can't come up with any book ideas. I don't know what business I should do. My rent's due. Everything's going wrong. Sometimes I find if you feel like everything, like the sky is gray and everything is coming down on you. A long time ago, we made a meme. And it said, keep going. Blue skies are just around the corner. Yeah. And I share this because I want people to feel like, well, okay, I'm hitting this low now, but the sky is about to clear and the blue sky is about to come out. Yeah. And so I'm just like, have faith that you will solve that problem. You will come up with a solution for it and it will just hit you. If you just find a way to relax, just keep it in your mind, sleep on it, the chances are you're going to come up with a solution. Like nothing's forever. Okay. This too will pass. If you're feeling down, if you feel stressed out over a problem, you will find a solution. Just keep an open mind and stay positive.
Yeah, that sounds
like
good.
A little bit of motivational chat, but I'm keeping it real there because I go through this myself, and so I kind of want to share it with you just to say stay positive.
I remember at one of my programming gigs I had, and I used to work by the beach. I can see the beach from my office, and I was like working with this horrible framework. Oh my gosh, it was a nightmare code to work with, and I had a problem, and it was just I was completely stuck. I stopped what I was doing, and I took a long walk down the beach.
A
walk down the beach, and I just stopped thinking about it, and then the solution just hit me like that.
It's funny how that happens.
It was such a weird experience, but yeah, it does happen.
Okay, so talking of dumb ideas. Okay, so I think this is kind of hilarious. Do you know who this is, Isaac? And if you do, I'm going to have some concern.
I have no idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't. So this is Gamer Girl. Who is an interesting personality. She's pretty much the hottest Instagram influencer right now.
Really? Okay.
And she's interesting. She doesn't exactly do porn, but it's kind of close to it.
She looks like she's like 14 years old,
which is a little bit disturbing. Yeah. Anyway, Gamer Girl is kind of a character. So she's like one publicity stunt after another. So I guess last month she promised that if she got enough likes, she would upload videos to Pornhub. And her videos were just troll videos.
Wait.
Well, I see. I don't want to get too rude.
Okay.
But she was like, "Oh, watch me." Well, basically, let's say in the actual video she uploaded, she was stroking 2 male chickens. Literally 2 male chickens. You can imagine how she billed that video and what she said about that video.
Troll level 1000.
She's kind of a troll. And this month her thing.
All right, she won me over. I'm a fan.
Wow. Okay. And this month her thing is selling her bathwater.
Bathwater. Oh, wow.
She's selling her bathwater. And I think what kind of amazes me about this is like they're covering every platform. She's on Patreon. And what she does is she kind of uses her audience to big her up. So there's like a YouTube video of this guy just like, I spent $2,000 on Gamer Girl's Patreon. There's like a Reddit thread of this guy talking about what he wants to do with the bathwater, which is not very wholesome. I think it's kind of hilarious, the whole thing. But also it's like, this is 2019.
Welcome
this
to
is what gets you
2019.
millions of views.
Oh my gosh.
If this is making you feel kind of gross, like you want a bath, but not in Gamer Girl's bathwater,
sure.
I want to share this guy with you. And he's like the counter trend. This guy hates influencers. So he has an ice cream truck. And he said he has a big problem. He said influencers, like Instagram people, keep going up to him and going, yeah, can you just give me a free ice cream and I'll put it on Instagram and tell everyone to come and buy from you? And he's like, no, I will not do that.
That's really,
no free ice cream.
Wow, that's really funny.
And now he has his own campaign where he says influencers pay double.
That's, oh my gosh. You know, I read an article a while ago about this influencer, and she was like trying to get to stay at a hotel in like Scotland, was it?
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
And she complained to the owner saying like, this person wouldn't let me stay here for free because I'm an influencer and I would have brought in so much business. And they're like, yeah, who are you? Like, why are you important?
No, it's one of those things. It's like, have influencers jumped shark? Like, I think influencers are always going to be a thing now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. I was watching some old comedy clips from like British stand-ups, and I feel like they were the influencers. Like in the olden times, in the 80s, 90s, it was like TV personalities, stand-up comedians kind of set the tone. It was like, this is what the world's about. And they always do things like, I don't know, I like to fly first class on a plane, don't you? And they kind of always, their setups almost set a tone. And I feel like influencers have always been around. There's always been influencers. There always will be. Like people,
I think rock stars were influencers both in the 80s and 90s. Maybe now not so much because they have to compete with all the the Instagram and YouTube influencers.
I know, that's the crazy thing. Like rocks, yeah.
But at one point, they definitely set the tone.
Well, I think like PewDiePie and Gamer Girl are kind of the rock stars for 2019, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like it's not really about the art; it's just about the. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's about. Entertainment. I think is the word for it. So I had a couple of. I wanted to talk briefly.
He's got a cool bandana, by the way.
Oh no, okay. The ice cream
I'm digging
truck
the
guy.
bandana.
Yeah. Oh, hey, if you're in our KDP group, don't miss the post I made yesterday about 4 tips to beat the creative block.
Oh, okay.
I think it kind of got lost because, well, actually, no, it got some pretty good comments, but because it was July 4th, I think people might have missed it. But I wrote an article yesterday about 4 tips to beat the creative block.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of funny because I see some of the tips I posted sort of going on in things like Gamer Girl and how they do things. So my tips to beat the block, the first was leave the herd. And this is the thing, it's like when you are on your own somewhere, your instinct is that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you find yourself in a room and you're like, uh-oh, I'm the only one here, I must have found the wrong room. The thing is, my feeling is in business, that's the best place to be. If you're the only one in the room, you're like, ha-ha, what can I create here? What can I do? And I think it can be really powerful to come up with your own things, especially, and I wrote about this yesterday, and it's kind of funny that we went in this direction, looking at like Gamer Girl today. I think breaking taboos can be huge because a lot of things I see that are super popular now, like poop emojis, every underwear advert in my feed has plus size models with like stretch marks, sweary coloring books. These are all things that like the traditional way of marketing and thinking would have said, no, don't do that.
Right.
You've got to have beautiful, skinny, like, well, I mean, plus size models are beautiful too, but you have to have very thin models. You have to have certain, like everything should be nice and pretty and lovely. And I think people really do well sometimes doing counter trends, kind of taking a more realistic approach.
Sephora promoting like guys wearing makeup.
Right. Yeah. So there's, breaking taboos is kind of really powerful right now. Like you have to stand out. And I think this is the problem when you like marketing, creating things. It's like a lot of us are like, oh, I don't really want people to look at me. I don't really want people to take notice of me. But you kind of have to do that. If you're selling something, people have to know you exist. You have to put it out there. So one of the things we've said is like you can market on. The great thing with KDP is you can create your book with a pen name. You can market using Facebook groups and Facebook pages without having to put your name on them. And I mean, you can just look at like people like Sasha O'Hara who've done really, really well under a pen name, under a brand. It's really powerful. So try things. Don't be afraid to try things. And this kind of goes with what we were saying about let your dumb ideas out. Just try them out because it can't be dumber than selling your bathwater, really.
That is brilliant.
$30 a little.
I got it. If I can get away with selling my bathwater,
no,
you know
don't do
would.
it. Don't do it, Isaac.
You know,
don't sell
like,
your bathwater.
That is great.
Yes. Well, it's like another step on from the people who sell their pants on eBay, really, isn't it? Like,
I guess so.
Anyway, what are my other tips? Oh yeah, know your audience and stop selling to stereotypes. And if you want more of that, check out our free Mother's Day class that we did because I went into detail about that. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? If you look at Mother's Day cards in Target, that mothers fall into 2 categories. According to Mother's Day cards, there are 2 types of mothers. There's like the 60-year-old sweet little old lady who like knits and just like dotes on her children who may be adult children or whatever. And you know those cards because they have like a flower and they say, "Dear mother, I love you. Thank you. You've done all this wonderful thing for me, blah, blah, blah." Or they're like wine-swilling 30-year-olds who hate their kids. Just like, don't worry about your kids. Drink some wine. It'll be great. But like, there's so many types of women. Like the world. And my thought is get rid of those stereotypes. Like, because no one actually really fits into those stereotypes.
Yeah, everyone's got their own unique
right.
thing,
And when you start breaking down demographics, like any demographic, like you can say like people are like, oh, I'm going to market to Christians. Okay, get me like a group of Christians in a room. The chances are they're all going to be different ages, different marital status, different like all kinds of different things.
Well, there's like what 60,000 different sections of just like Christianity alone.
Right. And when you look at the specific people in there, it's like everyone's got different, and you can do the same with anything, like grandparents, veterans. Like people always like, oh, I must market to veterans, but it's all the same stuff. It's all the red, white, and blue, just the same kind of viewpoint or outlook. Yeah. Like really break it down. Like I've met veterans who are women, who are super liberal, who have like I'm thinking of a friend who has like dyed hair, and she's like and she's a musician, and it's like people don't all fit. I feel like these stereotypes are actually really misleading for marketers, and I see this especially in t-shirts. Like I feel like t-shirts always tend to go in the same direction. You think of a demographic and you always kind of create the same sort of look. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, nurses, teachers, artists, kids, homeschoolers, like, they're not all the same. Like, really think about the traits of people you know. My third point was create a movement. Okay. Which I think is pretty powerful. And the reason I say create a movement is think about emotions. Like, if you love something, if you hate something, if you're terrified of something, if you're really angry about something, those are really good things to create a product about, because there's probably like our friend, right? Our friend who teaches us to sing. Mm-hmm. She really hates celery.
Oh, yes, that's her thing.
Every week she goes on Facebook and she goes, F celery, I hate celery, and just tells us how bad celery is. The chances are there's probably other people out there who don't like
feel
celery.
The same way. I'm sure there's a lot of children out there.
And there's more serious versions, like the F cancer movement. Like that's a sort of take on it. But embrace strong emotions and turn them into a movement, because the chances are, if you have that strong emotion, whether it's about something little, like I really love frogs, or I'm really terrified of, like, you wear all your trypophobia shirts all the time. I'm really terrified of holes and things with holes in. You can turn that into anything, a book, a product. Like you can make, I like the idea of doing a trypophobia notebook with like a watermark background with all the holes in. Or you could do like lightning. I learned a new phobia, astrophobia.
What's astrophobia?
It's the fear of lightning.
A fear of lightning.
Like that would make a cool book. So I don't know, play with emotions and create a movement. And the great thing with creating a movement is you can create a Facebook group on that. You can like create a Pinterest board, Instagram, Twitter feed. You could have like a whole Twitter feed where you just complain about whatever it is.
So I see a continuing theme of like, it helps when you're about something.
Absolutely.
Like represent something, just be about something, whatever it is.
And then my last tip was play with your audience and gamify things. Encourage them. And the cool thing with points. So I think people are really into gamifying things at the moment, like keeping track of scores, like, I don't know how many, and people love tracking stuff like how many calories you burnt, how much food you ate.
Oh yeah, people are obsessed with this stuff today.
How many things you threw away, like whatever it is. Turn it into a game and like give people rewards, like a picture to color in or some points at the bottom. You watch it, the people are going to be selling interiors with this any minute. But put games out there. And the cool thing with games is that you can you can encourage people to share their results. Yeah. So like if you I don't know, let's say you have a wellness tracker, and then at the end you color in a picture, you might want to share that on Instagram. That's great publicity for your book. So think about games, think about rewards, points. We did a whole class on gamification at ASD last year, and that was really fun. It's a big subject. If that's something that interests you, it's kind of fun to go and do a bit more research on gamification, because there's a lot out there. Yeah. You had Nerd Corner. Nerd Corner.
So, Nerd Corner, okay, so in the news, CNBC is reporting that a new study shows that Netflix will lose 23% of its subscribers if they start showing ads.
Whoa.
So there's rumors and that Netflix will eventually have to adopt some type of ad model. Of course, I do question that if these rumors are from ad agencies themselves. And also these, the CNBC, they make a lot of money off ads. So they could be pushing the rumors.
You think they might be attacking Netflix?
It kind of looks like they're throwing some shade at Netflix if you definitely look at their history. So take this with a grain, of salt. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, and how they mentioned that. So they don't have ads, but there is some questions on product placement and who's getting paid for some of the products showing up on shows. So yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on advertising, especially on mainstream advertising. Like I feel like I just filter a lot of, like if I'm reading the news, like if I'm on CNN or like the BBC. Well, actually, I don't think. Yeah, the BBC do have ads now. I tend to filter it out like mentally. I don't even, and I always scroll past or mute them or try and get rid of them because I find it so kind of, oh, I don't want to see these ads. So I do kind of question the days of like how long is traditional advertising going to, and also it's really expensive. Like traditional advertising is so expensive when you have social media. And you can reach people for nothing on social media if you're smart and creative about it.
Yeah, and ROI is a little questionable, especially today.
Absolutely. So, my other thought, and like for example with YouTube, I usually we turn monetizing off on most of our videos now. Because honestly, if someone clicks on an ad on your YouTube, you get maybe like, I don't know, 10 cents or something. Like you don't make a lot of money on YouTube unless you get millions, unless you get like hundreds of thousands, millions of viewers.
You're like bathwater girl.
Or you're bathwater girl. You're probably not going to make like big bucks. And it makes more sense really I tend to turn off monetizing because I'd rather focus on selling my own products or selling like making a video about a course I'm doing or something like that, because I find that honestly it's going to make you more money than just relying on advertising. If you actually have something to sell, something to offer, something where people can buy from you, I find using YouTube more as something to bring people to you and help them discover you is more powerful than trying to make money off ads. So and my feeling is people are deterred by ads. Like I want people to come to us and listen to us and sort of see what we're about. And I feel like if they get hit in the face with an ad before the video even starts, it's like, I might just click somewhere else.
I think if Netflix, was to go old school and start having ads on their shows, I think it opens the opportunity for a competitor to show up and do it.
Who's like ad free,
right?
So I
some company's going to fill in that void because people don't like ads. I think that's it.
I had two more really quick things before we actually do the. Oh, where are we? I had two more very quick things I wanted to share. Wait, we had that. Oh my gosh, there it is. I thought this was really awesome. These are just kind of cool things. I really like this art by a lady called Lena Ehrlich, and she's Russian. She's from Siberia, I believe. Oh. And look what she does. She makes sheet music art.
That's so cool.
I love this. And one of the things I've found is that it's really easy to find old public domain sheet music. Like I've gone to church sales and come out with like a bag of like organ music or something. This is a really fun way to like create art with it. And you could totally use stickers or something. I don't know.
This is really cool. What I was thinking of, like Sid takes piano lessons. And so you can make a piano book for kids and then have artwork in there to encourage the kids to want to look at the sheet music more.
Oh my gosh. And you could theme it. You could have like robots or like aliens or owls or whatever, and have the notes be little characters.
Right. Or like if you have Mary Little Lamb, for example, you can have the little lamb with Mary, That would make awesome printables. If you had a website where you did sheet music for kids, you could like sell pages of decorated sheet music that the kids could use to practice piano with. Yeah. That would be really neat. And that would tie in really well if you offer piano lessons or something like that. Yeah. You could like sell the sheet music to go with it. That's brilliant. So a piano teacher can offer her own unique. Right. Oh my, that's pretty awesome. So and I also found some more pictures of things like this, the sheet music. It's kind of a thing, the decorated sheet music. They're going to town with some of these. Yeah, I'm just bragging. Can you even like read the music? I thought this was kind of neat. It's like it's almost like a comic book style. Oh my gosh. Like people have used sheet music to do some really cool artwork. It's like you have to take some work to find the notes. Pressing flowers, is that, or just painted? I think they're just painted. Oh, okay. But yeah, I thought that was a fun sort of little thing I stumbled on. What was the other thing I wanted to share? I had one other thing. Oh yeah. Okay. Do you want a space baby, Isaac?
Not to freak you out
Wait,
or
what?
anything.
How does this work?
Apparently this company, they're Dutch,
Mhm.
they're from the Netherlands, and they have a plan to create babies in space. So their plan is to, well, it was originally to send eggs and sperm to space and create embryos in space.
We talking ectogenesis here?
What is ectogenesis?
Oh, it's when a child is born outside of the womb.
Yeah, totally. Well, no, not quite. They're not going that far. So they're going to have a space embryo and bring it back and implant it. However, they have run into snags, so you can all breathe freely.
Really? What are the snags they ran into?
They're not quite saying.
I'm shocked.
They said the plan was unrealistic.
Kidding.
Well, and then they had further plans, I think, to actually deliver a baby in space and send pregnant women to space. And
yeah, that's.
I think generally it was.
So our first plan was unrealistic. So we came up with another unrealistic plan.
But this kind of reminds me of that thing. Didn't they have a thing where they said they were going to send people to space forever and they were going to go on an endless mission? Well, I remember at the time we were like, that sounds like a good publicity stunt. Say, I'm going to space forever. Bye-bye. No one actually went. It didn't happen.
Oh, that's funny.
It was kind of predictable that it wouldn't actually happen. But these stunts are kind of interesting. Like, they do draw attention, but yeah, it's like the technology doesn't go anywhere, but they're just using the marketing. I'm going to space. Let's do it. Should we? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I think that's all the cool news and cool things we have. So we have one thing left to do. So hopefully everyone is tuned in and ready for it. We had a contest in our KDP group, and the contest is to celebrate hitting 10,000 members in our KDP group.
10,000.
We now have 3 groups with over 10,000 members, which is scary.
So many people.
2 of them are a bit quieter. So the KDP group is where all the action is at the moment.
It's the most active group. Oh my god.
Sorry, I wobbled the camera. It was like another earthquake, but it was just me wobbling the camera. So yeah, we hit 10,000 members. So a big thank you to everyone in that group. I'm really we are so proud of that group. It's been awesome. We keep it very free of promotions, marketing, and just try and give the best content we possibly can, which is really our goal with it. So yeah, we hit 10,000 members. We are offering a contest. So we asked, I think we just said leave a comment, something you like about the group. And we got 667 comments.
Oh my god.
We had 666 and someone got upset and said, no, I'm breaking this.
They wanted to
They wanted to even it out. So yeah, we had last count, we had 667 comments. And we were terrible. We made our children chop them all out and put them into this Mickey Mouse mug. So there's actually 667 comments in here. From different people,
and they're like, yay.
And the kids love doing that. You're like, here's the scissors, kids, get at it. It's not too bad. Between 3 of them, it's like 200 snips. That's not too bad.
Snip. And I did my best to make it easy.
And what are we giving away in the contest?
Well,
we are giving away, you like the rhetorical question there.
What are we giving away?
Okay,
I don't know. What is it?
Okay, we're giving away one of our everything bundles, which is huge. The everything bundle includes Curate, which is probably our flagship course, really. It's our digital inventory course. We're giving away Cultivate, which is our awesome marketing course. And I think that's one of my favorites. I really like Cultivate. It's all about brand building. It's all about how to grow an audience, how to curate a product range. Basically, it's kind of like a business in a box sort of thing, like how to really get yourself going with a business. We have Create in there, which was our original white label course, which also includes our bundling course. Our coloring book course is included. Selling and sexual wellness is included. That's a fun one. Magic formulas, that's there. I love a year of tangent research suite. You get tangent templates. Oh, we're doing tangent templates, and the winner will get a tangent templates to give to a friend as well. That's really cool. Yeah, that's pretty fun. You get a gift of tangent templates. Oh, and you get a $50 Amazon gift card.
Yep.
So the total price is like way over $500. It's like
You forgot one more course.
What was the other course?
T-shirt
Oh,
revolutionaries.
T-shirt revolutionaries. Those, yeah,
That was a
those
fun
a
one.
big course,
Yeah.
and that's got a lot of Isaac in that one.
There's
It's
a
a
lot
pretty
of
awesome
Photoshop
course.
stuff in there.
Yeah, you've got your whole Photoshop course in there. So T-shirt revolutionaries, Isaac put his that's where your See Like an Artist video came from.
Yeah.
And guys, if you haven't seen Isaac's See Like an Artist video, look it up on YouTube. It was really, really good. It's pretty much like a year or 2 years of art college in an hour. Like people have said that. They were like,
yeah, I don't know. It's
cool
funny.
video.
Like, I mean, I know like even in like the POD community, like both Merge and KDP, I don't see a lot of people talking about like the principles of design or the elements of design. And so it's just things that.
So it's not really like a super technical video.
Yeah.
It's just a guide to good design. And then in the T-shirt revolutionaries, you also have the whole Photoshop course that will take you from being an absolute beginner with Photoshop to actually some quite advanced techniques.
Yeah.
And people have like did a lot with that. They were like, whoa, I never used Photoshop, and now I like feel really confident, and they're creating some pretty
I'm a
awesome
Photoshop
things.
guy. I know there's a lot of alternatives. Affinity seems like a pretty decent alternative to Adobe products, and then you got the alternative GIMP, which is free. But I don't know. I always go back to Photoshop. Each time I look at all these other alternatives, I'm like, oh, there's still something that isn't there that I miss in Photoshop. So yeah.
But a lot of what you did actually applies to GIMP or Affinity.
Yeah, a lot of the tools
like
are the
they're
same.
pretty much kind of like clones. They're kind of like knockoffs of Photoshop. So
Yeah.
a lot of it still applies. So yeah, that's the T-shirt revolutionaries in there too. So basically, you get a whole bunch of courses and software from us. I think I can't even count up how many hours, because I know there's at least 50 hours of content in Curate total. I think T-shirt revolutionaries has something like 12 hours, Magic Formulas 12 hours, Cultivate is something like 15 hours. So you honestly, if you win this, you get something like 90 hours of content from us, plus all the software. So it's pretty cool prize. Are we ready?
Let's do this.
Pick a winner. Okay. Do you want to dig in and pick one? All right. So the winner of Everything Bundle, the Amazon gift card. Just pick one. Just pick one.
I know. There's
Okay,
just so
don't
many
look.
in here. I'm trying to get in the center.
Just pick one. Just pick one. Oh my gosh, they're gonna fall out.
Okay,
Oh my gosh.
I think I got one. I got one.
Okay, who is the winner?
Okay, Joanne.
The winner is Joanne Mason, and she said, "Congratulations, I've enjoyed the abundance of information and help in growing my business in the group, especially the insight into research and niches." Yay, we've helped Joanne. That's really cool. She's enjoyed learning about research and niches. And we do a lot of niche hunting in our group. So if you're not in the KDP group, come and hang out with us, because we do some really fun threads where we find a lot of cool niches that maybe get overlooked quite often. So congratulations, Joanne Mason. Please send me a message on Facebook or send an email to support@tangentrocks. Will that do? Or hi@catherine.com, any of our emails, and we will get you hooked up with all of those courses, with your gift card, and with tangent templates for you and a friend. Yay! Guys, if you're interested in buying tangent templates or any of our courses, hit me up. I have a big bag of promo codes, and we just want people to see our courses, to use our software, and we're always happy to help out. If you're thinking of it and money's a little bit tight, send me a message and we'll see if we can find you a promo code and make it a little bit easier for you. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You have been watching the Tangent Show live. Oh, by the way, this is Glastonbury behind us.
Oh yeah.
I wish I was at Glastonbury.
Oh my gosh, we're watching all the videos on YouTube.
It made me super
so
homesick.
many good bands. Oh my gosh.
It's super homesick. Seeing the Killers, I think I'm just like,
with Johnny Marr.
I know,
they did a Smith cover. Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
So we went to see Johnny Marr like last month, I think, at the House of Blues in San Diego, and he was on stage with the Killers.
That's so cool.
And the Killers are like my favorite band. So I didn't like Brandon Flowers' trousers though. He had really bad trousers. Like, Brandon, I love you, but the trousers have to go.
And Johnny Marr is a guitar legend.
And Johnny Marr's pretty awesome. Yeah. So wait, they had the Pet Shop Boys as well.
Oh, that's right, the Pet Shop
Boys went on with them, and they did Always on My Mind with the Killers, which was so good, because They're one of my favorites as well. So yeah, you got Johnny Marr and I got the Pet
There
Shop
you go.
Boys. So
Yep.
pretty awesome. So I just want to go back to England now. So I can go. I miss the festivals. I miss Glastonbury. I miss the Edinburgh Fringe. I just but we get earthquakes and rattlesnakes. So
Yay,
life is
life
good.
is awesome.
Yay. All right, guys, have an awesome weekend. We hope you have fun, whatever you are doing. I will contact Joanne and hook her up with her prize. I don't know what we're doing this. Oh, we've got improv this weekend.
Well, yes, we do.
Good times. All right, guys, have a good one. We love you. Bye.
Bye.